Good evening. Time for dinner. We are at Exodus chapter 5. And afterwards Moshe and Aaron went in and said to Pharaoh, "Thus said Jehovah, Elohim of Yisrael, let my people go so that they celebrate a festival to me in the wilderness." And Pharaoh said, "Who is Jehovah, that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I do not know Jehovah, nor am I going to let Israel go." And they said, "The Elohim of the Hebrews has met with us. Please, let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and slaughter to Jehovah our Elohim, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword." But the sovereign of Mizraim said to them, Moshe and Aaron, "Why do you take the people from their work? Get back to your burdens." And Pharaoh said, "See, the people of the land are many now, and you make them cease from their burdens." And the same day Pharaoh commanded the slave drivers of the people and their foremen, saying, "You are no longer to give the people straw to make bricks as before. Let them go and gather straw for themselves, and lay on them the required amount of bricks which they made before. Do not diminish it, for they are idle. That is why they cry out, saying, 'Let us go and slaughter to our Elohim.' Let more work be laid on the men, so that they labor in it, and not pay attention to words of falsehood." And the slave drivers of the people and their foremen went out and spoke to the people, saying, "Thus said Pharaoh, I do not give you straw. Go take straw for yourselves, wherever you find it, for your work shall not be diminished." And the people were scattered in all the land of Mizraim to gather stubble for straw. And the slave drivers were hurrying them on, saying, "Fulfill your actions, your daily matters, as when there was straw." Also the foremen of the children of Israel, whom Pharaoh's slave drivers had set over them, were struck, and were asked, "Why have you not fulfilled your law in making bricks, both yesterday and today as before?" And the foreman of the children of Israel came and cried out to Pharaoh, saying, "Why do you treat your servants this way? There is no straw given to your servants, and they say to us, 'Make bricks.' And see, your servants are struck. But why? But your own people are at fault." But he said, "You are idle. You are idle. That is why you say, 'Let us go and slaughter to Jehovah.' So now go, work. And straw is not given to you, but deliver the amount of bricks." And the foreman of the children of Israel saw that they were in trouble after it was said, "You are not to diminish your daily amount of bricks." And when they came out from Pharaoh and met Moshe and Aaron, who stood there to meet them, and they said to them, "Let Jehovah look on you and judge, because you have made us loathsome in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, to give a sword in their hand to kill us." And Moshe returned to Jehovah and said, "Jehovah, why have you done evil to this people? Why did you send me? For ever since I came to Pharaoh to speak your name, he has done evil to this people, and you have not delivered your people at all." And Jehovah said to Moshe, "Now see what I do to Pharaoh. For with a strong hand he is going to let them go, and with a strong hand he is going to drive them out of his land." And Elohim spoke to Moshe and said to him, "I am Jehovah. And I appeared to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov as El Shaddai. And my name, Jehovah, was I not known to them? And I also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojournings, in which they have sojourned. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Mizrahites are enslaving, and I have remembered my covenant. Say therefore to the children of Israel, I am Jehovah, and I shall bring you out from under the burdens of the Mithrites, and shall deliver you from their enslaving, and shall redeem you with an outstretched arm, and with great judgments, and shall take you as my people, and I shall be your Elohim. And you shall know that I am Jehovah, your Elohim, who is bringing you out from under the burdens of the Mithrites. And I shall bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov, to give it to you as an inheritance. I am Jehovah. And Moshe spoke thus to the children of Israel, and they did not listen to Moshe because of shortness of spirit and from hard slavery. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, saying, Go in, speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, to let the children of Israel go out of his land. And Moshe spoke before Jehovah, saying, The children of Israel have not listened to me. And why would Pharaoh listen to me? For I am of uncircumcised lips. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, and gave them a command for the children of Israel and for Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Mizraim. These are the heads of their fathers' houses. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok and Palu, Hezron and Carmi. These are the clans of Reuben. And the sons of Shimon, Yemuel, and Yamin, and Ohad, and Yakin, and Soar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. These are the clans of Shimon. These are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations, Gershon and Kehath, Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137. The sons of Gershon, Libni, and Shimi, according to their clans. And the sons of Kehath, Amram, and Yitshar, and Hebron, and Uziel. And the years of the life of Kehath were 133. And the sons of Merari, Mali, and Mushi. These are the clans of Levi according to their generations. And Amram took for himself Jochebed, and his father's sister as wife, and she bore him Aharon and Moshe. And the years of the life of Amram were 137. And the sons of Yitshar, Korah, and Nepheg, and Zikri. And the sons of Uziel, Mishael, and Elsaphan, and Sithri. Aharon took to himself Elisheba, daughter of Aminadab, sister of Nahshon, as wife. And she bore him Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. And the sons of Korah, Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These are the clans of the Korites. And Eleazar, Aharon's son, took for himself one of the daughters of Putiel as wife, and she bore him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Levites according to their clans. This is Aharon and Moshe, to whom Jehovah said, Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Mizraim according to their divisions. They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, to bring out the children of Israel from Mizraim. This is Moshe and Aharon. And it came to be on the day when Jehovah spoke to Moshe in the land of Mizraim, that Jehovah said to Moshe, saying, I am Jehovah. Speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, all that I say to you. And Moshe said before Jehovah, "See, I am of uncircumcised lips, and why would Pharaoh listen to me?" So Jehovah said to Moshe, "See, I have made you an Elohim to Pharaoh, and Aharon your brother is your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aharon your brother shall speak to Pharaoh, to let the children of Israel go out of his land. But I am going to harden the heart of Pharaoh, and shall increase my signs and my wonders in the land of Mizraim. And Pharaoh is not going to listen to you, and I shall lay my hand on Mizraim and bring my divisions and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Mizraim by great judgments. And the Mizrahites shall know that I am Jehovah, when I stretch out my hand on Mizraim, and I shall bring the children of Israel out from among them." And Moshe and Aharon did as Jehovah commanded them, so they did. Now Moshe was 80 years old, and Aharon 83 years old, when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe and to Aharon, saying, "When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, 'Show a miracle for yourselves,' then you shall say to Aharon, 'Take your rod and throw it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent.'" So Moshe and Aharon went in to Pharaoh, and they did so as Jehovah commanded. And Aharon threw his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. But Pharaoh also called the wise men and the practicers of witchcraft and the magicians of Mizraim also did so with their magic. And they each one threw down their rod, and they became serpents. But the rod of Aharon swallowed up their rods. And Pharaoh's heart was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Jehovah had said. And Jehovah said to Moshe, "The heart of Pharaoh is hard. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning as he goes out to the water, and you shall stand by the river's bank to meet him, and take in your hand the rod which was turned into a serpent. And you shall say to him, 'Jehovah, the Elohim of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Let my people go, so that they serve me in the wilderness. But see, until now you have not listened. Thus said Jehovah, by this you know that I am Jehovah. See, I am striking the waters which are in the river with the rod that is in my hand, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Mizrahites shall find it impossible to drink the water of the river.' And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, 'Say to Aharon, Take your rod and stretch out your hand over the waters of Mizraim, over their streams, over their rivers, over their ponds, and over all their pools of water, that they become blood. And there shall be blood in all the land of Mizraim, both in wooden and in stone containers.' And Moshe and Aaron did so, as Jehovah commanded, and he lifted up the rod and struck the waters that were in the river, in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that were in the rivers died, and the river stank, and the Mizrahites were unable to drink the water of the river, and the blood was in the land of Mizraim, and the magicians of Mizraim did the same with their magic. And the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Jehovah had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and his heart was not moved by this either. And all the Mizrahites dug all around the rivers for water to drink, for they were unable to drink the water of the river. And 7 days were completed after Jehovah had struck the river. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe, 'Go to Pharaoh and say to him, Thus said Jehovah, Let my people go, so that they serve me. But if you refuse to let them go, see, I am smiting all your border with frogs. And the river shall swarm with frogs, which shall go up and shall come into your house, and into your bedroom, and on your bed, and into your houses of your servants, and on your people, and into your ovens, and into your kneading bowls. And the frogs shall come up on you and on your people and on all your servants. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Say to Aharon, Stretch out your hand with your rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up on the land of Mizraim. So Aharon stretched out his hand over the waters of Mizraim, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Mizraim. And the magicians did so with their magic, and brought up frogs on the land of Mizraim. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aharon and said, Pray to Jehovah to take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I shall let the people go to slaughter to Jehovah. And Moshe said to Pharaoh, Explain yourself to me. When am I to pray for you and for your servants and for your people to destroy the frogs from you and from your house and remain only in the river? So he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Let it be according to your word, so that you know that there is no one like Jehovah our Elohim. And the frogs shall turn aside from you and from your houses and from your servants and from your people. They shall remain in the river only. And Moshe and Aharon went out from Pharaoh, and Moshe cried out to Jehovah concerning the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Jehovah did according to the word of Moshe, and the frogs died out of the houses and out of the courtyards and out of the fields. And they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. And when Pharaoh saw that there was relief, he hardened his heart and did not listen to them, as Jehovah had said. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Say to Aharon, Stretch out your rod and strike the dust of the land, so that it becomes gnats in all the land of Mizraim. And they did so, and Aharon stretched out his hand and his rod and struck the dust of the earth, and it became gnats on the man and beasts. All the dust of the land became gnats in all the land of Mizraim, and the magicians did similarly with their magic to bring forth gnats, but they were unable. And there were gnats on all man and beast. The magicians then said to Pharaoh, This is the finger of Elohim. But the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Jehovah had said. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh as he comes out to the water, and say to him, Thus says Jehovah, Let my people go so that they serve me. Or else if you do not let my people go, see, I am sending swarms of flies on you and your servants and on your people and into your houses, and the houses of the Mizrites shall be filled with swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they stand. And in that day I shall separate the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, so that you know that I am Jehovah in the midst of the land. And I shall put a ransom between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall be. And Jehovah did so, and thick swarms of flies came into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Mizraim, and the land was ruined because of the swarms of flies. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aharon and said, Go slaughter to your Elohim in the land. And Moshe said, It is not right to do so, for we would be slaughtering the abomination of the Mizrites to Jehovah our Elohim. See, if we slaughter the abomination of the Mizrites before their eyes, would they not stone us? Let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, then we shall slaughter to Jehovah our Elohim as he commanded us. And Pharaoh said, I am letting you go. Then you shall slaughter to Jehovah your Elohim in the wilderness. Only do not go very far away. Pray for me. And Moshe said, See, when I leave you, I shall pray to Jehovah. And tomorrow the swarms of flies shall depart from Pharaoh and from his servants and from his people. But do not let Pharaoh again deceive, not to let the people go to slaughter to Jehovah. And Moshe went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Jehovah. And Jehovah did according to the word of Moshe, and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time too, and did not let the people go. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Go into Pharaoh and speak to him. Thus said Jehovah, Elohim of the Hebrews, let my people go so that they serve me. For if you refuse to let them go and are still holding them, see, the hand of Jehovah is on your livestock in the field, on the horses and on the donkeys, on the camels, on the cattle, on the sheep, a very grievous pestilence. And Jehovah shall separate between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Mizraim, and let no matter die of all that belong to the children of Israel. And Jehovah set an appointed time, saying, Tomorrow Jehovah is going to do this word in the land. And Jehovah did this word on the next day, and all the livestock of Mizraim died, but of the livestock of the children of Israel not one died. Then Pharaoh sent, and see, not even one of the livestock of Israel was dead, but the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. And Jehovah said to Moshe and Aharon, Fill your hands with ashes from a furnace, and let Moshe scatter it toward the heavens before the eyes of Pharaoh. And it shall become fine dust in all the land of Mizraim, and it shall cause boils that break out in sores on man and beast in all the land of Mizraim. So they took ashes. So they took ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moshe scattered them toward the heavens, and they caused boils breaking out in sores on man and beast. And the magicians were unable to stand before Moshe because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and all the Mizrites. And Jehovah strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not listen to them, as Jehovah had said to Moshe. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh and say to him, Thus says Jehovah, Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go so that they serve me. For at this time I am sending all my plagues onto your heart, and on your servants and on your people, so that you know that there is no one like me in all the earth. Now if I had stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, then you would have been cut off from the earth. For this reason I have raised you up, in order to show you my power, and in order to declare my name in all the earth. You still exalt yourself against my people, in that you do not let them go. See, tomorrow, about this time, I am causing very heavy hail to rain down, such as has not been in Mizraim from the day of its founding until now. And now bring your livestock to safety, and all that you have in the field, for the hail shall come down on every man and every beast which is found in the field, and is not brought home, and they shall die. Those among the servants of Pharaoh who feared the word of Jehovah made their servants and livestock flee to the houses. But those who did not set their heart on the word of Jehovah left their servants and livestock in the field. Then Jehovah said to Moshe, Stretch out your hand toward the heavens, and let there be hail in all the land of Mizraim, on man and on beast, and on every plant of the field, throughout the land of Mizraim. Then Moshe stretched out his rod toward the heavens, and Jehovah sent thunder, and hail and fire came down to the earth, and Jehovah rained hail on the land of Mizraim. Thus there came to be hail and fire, flashing continually in the midst of the hail, very heavy, such has not been seen in all the land of Mizraim since it came to be a nation. And the hail struck in all the land of Mizraim, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail struck every plant of the field, and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, there was no hail. Pharaoh then sent and called for Moshe and for Aharon, and said to them, I have sinned this time. Jehovah is righteous, and my people and I are wrong. Pray to Jehovah, for there has been enough of the thunder and hail of Elohim, and I am letting you go so that you stay no longer." And Moshe said to him, "As soon as I go out of the city, let me spread out my hands to Jehovah. Let the thunder cease and the hail be no more, so that you know that the earth belongs to Jehovah. But as for you and your servants, I know that you do not yet fear before Jehovah Elohim." And the flax and the barley were struck, for the barley was in the head, and the flax was in bud. But the wheat and the spelt were not struck, for they were late crops. And Moshe went out of the city from Pharaoh and spread out his hands to Jehovah, and the thunder and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured on the earth. And Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunder had ceased, yet he sinned again, and he hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not let the children of Israel go, as Jehovah had said through Moshe.